Hello everyone. My name is Julie Floyd. I'm the founder and CEO of Styled Life and the Styled Life Crown Club. The Styled Life Crown Club is a virtual platform for anyone who wants to learn how to grow, style, and care for healthy, natural curls. Our content contributors are Styled Life celebrity hairstylists, industry professionals, influencers, and more. Please welcome Avon Dugas, who will be our moderator this evening, and host Lydia Ainoo. Avon.
Thank you, Julie. I'm so happy to be here on the other side of this because normally I'm the one giving information, and this time I get to learn information. So I'm excited about that. As Julie mentioned, my name is Avon Dugas. I'm the Guinness World Record holder of the largest afro. And even though I have been natural since I just told somebody today, they asked me how long. It was right around the time Cash Money took over for the 990 2000. That's how long it's been. I am still so excited to hear about Lydia and all the information that she has for us today. So let me welcome Lydia Ainoo. Welcome, Lydia. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us all of these tips you have on growing hair? Because even though I've been in the game a long time, I always want to know new information.
Hi, thank you very much, Avon. Yes, my name is Lydia Ainoo, and first of all, you're all welcome to this webinar. I know that you have really been looking forward to it to learn a lot about your hair, and the decision to join this webinar, it's very good. It's like a stepping stone to learning and retaining the length that or growing your hair healthy and long. My name is Lydia Ainoo. I'm a natural hair influencer from Ghana. I've always loved natural hair from as long as I remember. I've always loved natural hair. I always said that I'd rather cut my hair than perm it, so meaning that I'm in the natural hair game. It has always been my passion to help other people grow their hair. After I had challenges with my hair and then I figured it out later, I feel like it's an obligation to teach other people who are also struggling to grow their hair like I was a few years back. I've worked with Style Life for a while now, and trust me, they are an amazing community that you are going to learn so much. Like, you're going to learn a lot if you decide to join their webinars, sign up to their community, and be a member of the Style Life community. So yes, today I'll be telling you how you can grow healthy long hair. I mean healthy, emphasis on healthy long hair, like what Avon Dugas has on her hair beautifully. Yeah.
Lydia. So I'm ready. Like I said, let's grow. I'm ready to hear all the information. I'm excited about this because you have like scientific backgrounds and whatnot. And I like that because people need to understand it's not just about a cute hairstyle, it goes deeper than that. So let's grow.
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I'll have to share my screen so that you have an idea what I have put together for you all. So welcome all again to today's webinar on secret to growing healthy natural hair. As I said earlier, my name is Lydia, and today we are going to talk about how you can grow your hair healthy and long. So our first session, we are going to talk about understanding the hair growth cycle. Yes, our hair growth has a cycle, just like the way every living thing has a cycle. If you study the cycle of animals, you are able to understand how they come and go. If you study the cycle of human beings, you are able to understand how we come and go. Same applies to our hair. Our hair growth also has a cycle. And our cycles are in 3 stages. They are in the anagen stage, the catagen stage, and the telogen stage. If you're able to understand them very well, it's the information you have is not going to make you panic. It's like knowing your rights, knowing having the right knowledge. When you are equipped with the right knowledge, nobody can control you, nobody can deceive you or something. So the first stage is the anagen stage. That is what we mostly see. That is the normal growth phase of our hair when our hair is growing. Like it is in an active hair growth stage. We trim our hair or we cut our hair, and we are seeing the growth day in and day out. That is the anagen stage. That is the stage that we all want. In fact, nobody wants any challenges in their lives. We are all excited about the anagen stage. So this stage usually lasts about 3 to 6 years, depending on genetics, depending on an individual. Some may last longer, others may last shorter. So if yours, but just have an idea that within these years, your hair is constantly or actively growing. Yes. And then it goes to the catagen stage. So this stage is when your hair takes a break. Like it's not taking a break, like it has stopped growing. It's just a transitional stage which occurs when your the growth phase of the anagen is different from this. Like your hair is relaxing a bit, it's not stopping completely. And sometimes the break can be through shedding, and you may be confused that why am I suddenly experiencing hair shedding? What is really going on? When you understand that this is the catagen stage, you're not going to panic so much because you are aware that okay, this is a stage in the hair growth cycle. So please let's be reminded that the hair growth has three cycles. The anagen stage, which is a constantly period, it's a constant period where your hair is always growing, and then it proceeds to the catagen stage where you shed a little bit of hair at a point in life, but you shouldn't panic, especially if you are continuously doing the same routine that you have been doing for a while now. You shouldn't panic. And then last but not least stage is the telogen stage. So this is the resting phase of the hair. At this point, you think your hair has stopped growing. I hear a lot of people saying that my hair is not growing anymore. I'm not seeing any length. And
Yes,
sometimes we can be quite impatient with certain things. We are like, oh, like I'm not seeing any length. I'm doing everything. Let's be patient. Let's understand that this is a phase in the hair growth, in our hair growth, and
yes,
it will come back. Once we go to this 3 to 4 month stage of rest, we go back to the anagen stage and the cycle continues. So if you know if you know what your hair is about, you're not going to panic, you're not going to be scared, you're not going to worry so much. If you are going through the catagen, that's when your hair is shedding a bit, and then also the telogen stage when your hair is resting. At the end of the day, we all need rest. Yes. And
yes,
then
yes.
there are certain factors that
Can I say
okay.
something, Lydia? So with the
Yes, you
last
can.
stage, as you mentioned, where well, what's the one where you say it seems like your hair's not growing at the last stage? And I always tell people your hair is always growing because if not from
Yes.
natural shedding, you'd be bald headed. So I always
Yes.
have
Yes.
to tell people your hair is growing. But
Yes.
if it wasn't growing, you'd be bald headed. So I always remind people of that. Like, trust me, it's fine.
Yes. Your hair is constantly growing. So long as you are eating, you are living, you are alive, your hair is
Yes,
constantly growing. So unless maybe you have certain medical conditions that deprive you of that. But
right.
aside that, your hair is constantly growing. Yes. So can I move on?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
All right, so there are certain factors that affect hair growth. There are certain things that they may slow your hair growth, or they may increase the hair growth. So genetics is a factor that contributes to hair growth. This has been a debate that has been going on and on and on concerning genetics, and whether some people are naturally hairy so they don't need to do much, and others who are not hairy, they can be doing everything on this planet and their hair will never grow. Well, I always argue against that yes, genetics affect hair growth, but then proper care, beats it. If you take care
Yes,
of your hair very well, someone with genetically hairy genes, you can just bypass the person. It's just like, I like to give this example as being born into wealth. You are born into money, a lot of money. If you are not able to maintain and grow the money, you can lose everything. Same applies to the hair. If you are born into a hairy family, you're an hairy human being, and then you don't take care of your hair, you just treat it anyhow, you can lose it. And the person you think is not hairy may it's not a competition, but yes, they can pass you in terms of length and health. So yes, genetics affect hair growth, but it's not the only reason why our hair grows. You can be genetically hairy and not take care of your hair, and you may run at a loss. Our next point is diet. Diet really affects hair growth. You should check your diet. When you eat well, certain proteins, certain nutrients that are so essential should be in your diet. And when you're lacking those nutrients, they will affect your hair. Last time, even gave an experience, and I was really touched. She was lacking protein and her hair was just acting up, and she didn't know she was lacking protein in her diet. So sometimes these things we have to be a bit observant. We have to do the
yes,
homework ourselves, look at ourselves, look within us, and then see what is missing. So your diet has to be a complete diet. You have to mix it up a bit, not just one way. If you want to, change your diet, try to do a lot more research into it so that it balances the whole thing. Else, if you introduce something new to your system and your hair doesn't know what it is, it will not speak to you, but it will show you signs. Yes.
Yes.
Our next tip that influence hair growth is hair care habits. Hair care habits, I mentioned earlier with genetics. You should take care of your hair. You should be conscious about it. Like anytime you are conscious about something, let's even use life as an example. If I'm conscious about my money and spending, I spend well. But if I don't watch how I spend my money, if I do anything anyhow, I'll lose my money. Same applies to the hair. You should be conscious about your hair. You should take care of your hair. Deliberate about certain things, your wash days, your things that may affect your hair. You don't do it because you are conscious about your hair. Hair care practice supersedes genetics. That is, if you want to grow long hair, forget about your friend coming from a hairy family. If you are able to take care of your hair well, practice good hair care habits, sleep in hair bonnets, wash your hair when needed, don't live on dirty scalp, like do no low manipulative hairstyles, you are going to supersede someone who was genetically hairy and is misbehaving with his or her hair. And then my last tip is your lifestyle. Lifestyle is very, very important. It affects your hair growth. Lifestyle comes in several ways in terms of how many hours of sleep you have in a day. Some people don't sleep at all. Some people just live their life like, okay, so long as I am healthy, I'm fine. But certain things can be lagging in your life, and then it will start showing signs in your hair. So if you are looking at healthy long hair, please watch your lifestyle. Both internal and external factors affect our hair. So what you eat and what you put in your hair affects your hair. So please be mindful of these four things: genetics affecting hair growth, your diet affecting hair growth, hair care habits affecting hair growth, and also your lifestyle also affects your hair growth.
Yes.
Moving to the
Oh,
next slide, we talk about building a consistent hair routine. You cannot grow long, healthy hair without having a consistent hair routine. Mind you, I'm emphasizing on consistent because your routine has to be consistent. It has to be something you do today, tomorrow, and you have do it all the time before you can see progress in your hair. And before you build a routine, it has to have three things I have put here. Your routine has to be easy to follow. You don't want to build a hair routine that is about 20 steps in a day. On your wash day, you have about 20 things to do on your wash day. That's too much. You are going to just do it once, and then washing your hair the next time will be like a chore for you. You
yes.
are going to think, oh my goodness, I have to now do this. I have to now do. No, your routine has to be easy to follow, even if it's only 3 steps that you can do consistently for 2 or 3 years. I'd rather you choose that than 20 steps that you can do only
I
once.
agree.
Yes, that is not a consistent routine. So emphasize on building a routine that is easy to follow. Also, your routine has to be flexible with your lifestyle. If you are targeting long, healthy hair, you should choose a routine that is flexible with your lifestyle. I wouldn't go and choose a routine that someone who works from home has for herself. Because I work 9 to 5, I wouldn't choose a routine where I'm supposed to wash my hair once a week or 3 times in a week. Even aside that, my hair is 4C, so washing it 3 times in a week is not helpful for me. So
Right.
flexible with my lifestyle, because I have a busy work schedule, I have to build a routine that will not affect my work schedule, and it will not stress me at the same time. So I can decide to wash my hair twice in a month,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so flexible, and
And it works for you, right?
it works for me. So
Yes,
do what
exactly.
works for you. So I
Please
wouldn't
do
want
what
to,
works for you.
yes, do what works for you and stick to it. Don't say because someone is washing his or her hair 2 times a week and their hair is to their tail, to their waist, you should
Mm-hmm.
also do the same thing. It may not work for you. It may not
That's
work.
true.
So study yourself and then do what works for you. And you'll be amazed the results that you are going to see. Your routine also has to be effective. If you start a skincare routine and you're in the next 4 months, you're not seeing any progress, please, your skincare routine is not effective. Maybe instead of cleansing, you end
Right.
up toning before cleansing. That is, you've not built an effective skincare routine. Same applies to your hair. Instead of shampooing or pre-pooing before shampooing, you end up deep conditioning first and just mixing everything. It's not going to be effective. So here I've put down my 5 steps to a wash day routine. If you want healthy long hair, there are these simple 5 steps. You pre-put your hair first, and then you go ahead and then you shampoo your hair, and then you deep condition your hair. Deep condition your hair to me is a secret to long healthy hair, because I tried and tested it and it worked so much for me. And then moisture is so important. Don't allow your hair to dry. Our hair is like a plant, and if you water a plant, you see how it grows beautifully. If you don't water it, it dries. And I had this experiment. I had a plant in my house, and I didn't water it for a while. It looked so pale, so bad. So I thought it was dead. Then
Hmm.
my auntie was like, no, just pour water on it and give it a few days. I did, and it came back. So
Yeah,
water, yes, it's water just revives everything. Water gives life. So your
it
hair also
does.
needs moisture. Don't allow your hair to dry out. So it's not really the best. And then my last step is the fifth step is to style your hair. This is something you do immediately after you wash your hair, not necessarily to braid your hair. Put
Hmm.
your hair in a style that you wouldn't have to be constantly manipulating it all the time, so
Hmm.
that you don't have to go through breakage, every time. Because when you keep combing or keep styling your hair, that is when you keep losing the length that you are trying to grow. And
Yes.
the more you comb your hair, the more your scalp gets the tension that you don't want. So it keeps on affecting your scalp also. So it affects the health of your scalp and also breaks your hair. The last step is not something you should do on every wash day. That's trimming and maintenance. If you're trimming your hair, your ends. It shouldn't be something you do on every wash day. You can trim your hair twice in a year, or even once in a year, or when you need it. It's
That
not
would
a
be me.
compulsory task, yes, to do.
Hmm.
Because if you are looking for healthy long hair, I'm emphasizing on long hair. Trimming
Hmm.
your hair is not going to give you that goal. Yes, it's not going
That's
to. In
true.
as much as trimming or your ends are good, trimming it constantly is not going to give you that long hair that you want.
Can I just say something, Lydia? I
Yes,
support all of everything you said. And as far as the trimming, somebody asked me today, how often do you trim your hair? And I'm like, honestly, maybe twice a year. But I also take care of my ends. But then
yes, yes,
to me, I feel like if you need a trim every 4 to 6 weeks, then something is wrong, because that means, maybe your ends are like frayed, you have split ends or whatnot. And that's where
yes,
really, really, really paying attention to your hair comes into play. And I like the point you made about not constantly doing hairstyles that you have to constantly redo. I learned that
yes.
recently. Like, my hair does not like twist outs, because then when I go to retwist it, I'm pulling out hair that doesn't have to come out.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
when I go to wash it, for some reason, it's super tangled. So I'm glad you made these points, and especially that point about styling, because
yeah.
I always want to make videos doing different. I have a ton of styles I can do, but I'm like, because I'm trying to maintain my hair and going for, let's see how long I can get it. I don't want to just go breaking my hair off anything. So I'm glad you made those points. These are
Yeah,
awesome points.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then we are proceeding to talk about hair challenges you face. Hair challenges are they are part of the hair journey. You cannot go through life without challenges. They are part of life. So I don't want you to panic when the challenges come. It's the panicking that's I remember when COVID came, there was something we used to call fear and panic in my
Hmm.
country. Anything fear and panic, don't cause fear and panic. Panic will make you not think straight, because you are going through hair challenges. You may think that, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that.
Yeah.
You may not be thinking or acting straight, but then I'm here to tell you that hair challenges are normal. Even
Yes.
Doga sitting here with the longest afro has gone through hair challenges. A
Ah,
ton of
yes.
it. Yes.
Yes.
And you will
Yes.
not believe it, because you think she has a long hair. You can recover from the challenge. That is what we are aiming at. You can recover from the challenge, but then you shouldn't dwell so much on the challenge. It's rather going to escalate when you dwell so much on the challenge. Certain causes of hair challenges are stress. Stress is a major cause of everything. And sometimes I have to think about our hair in general. Our hair is just like the human being itself, because what we eat affects our hair, what we put on our hair affects our hair, our mental health also affects our hair. Isn't it a beautiful thing? So it tries to tell us that our hair is part of us. You have to
Hmm.
take care of it, because it's part of you. Anything you do to your body affects your hair. stress affects your hair. So like we cannot live life without stress. So try as much as possible to show life that I mean you are tough. You have to
Yes,
prove to life
yes,
that you are tough. You are made for it. You can stand against it. So when the stress is coming, try to manage it. Don't dwell on it so much. For anything, one thing I used to tell myself is I have invested so much in my hair to stress about things that will affect the hair. I don't think even will invest so much in her hair, get this longest afro, and then life stress is hitting her, and then she just allow life stress to hit her
it's
so
true.
bad for it to affect her hair. No, we all
But
go through it. We all
yes,
go through it, but then we have to realize that anything that we cannot control can affect our hair.
right.
And next point is product allergy.
Can I just say something,
Yes,
Lydia? You know, we were
yes, you
talking
can.
the other day, and I knew somebody. I just want to tell this story real quick. I knew somebody where she was dating a guy, and her eyebrows actually is what I noticed first. They were really sparse, and I was like, "What's
Oh,
going on with your eyebrows?" And she was like, "Girl, he is just stressing me out." And she was like, "Look at my hair," and she showed me her hair, and her hair was super thin, and I was like, "He stressed you bald headed? Like, you can't let somebody stress you bald headed." So y'all,
that's
stress
serious.
if your significant other is stressing, I know a guy, matter of fact, stress bald headed. That is really a thing. And then there's
Yeah.
jobs and stuff. And of course, you can't, get rid of the job, but you can always get rid of that, the partner. You don't have, I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
you can.
you know,
Yeah, I agree with
stress
you.
me skinny. Don't stress me bald headed, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Not some of this
I
weight off
agree with you
me.
totally. Stress me skinny, yeah.
Stress, yeah, and stress will make you shed. Remember, we are talking about that stress. Literally, it's
Yes.
like your body is just so, I don't know what's going on to where your hair just
Can't
plucks
take the weight
clean
of,
out of
yeah,
the scalp. So
yeah.
you don't, and then you got to start all over because it's plucked clean out the scalp. So that hair, are they
You
worth
have
it?
to start
Is she worth
afresh.
it? Is he
Yeah,
worth
it's
it? I'm just
not worth it at all.
nobody worth
Not worth it at all. Not worth that. I mean, investing so much in your hair and then losing it over something like this. Not worth it. Yeah, I'm not sure you're even going to be proud of yourself after a while. So yes, don't stress yourself
it.
like
Shut
that.
up, bald head.
And even mentioned something that stress causes more shedding than breaking. And she also talked about it right now that stress is something so internal that I think it just can't hold the hair follicles anymore. So it just
Yeah.
lets it go. It just lets your
Mhm.
scalp just becomes weak and then it just
Yeah. Yeah.
lets the whatever go. And I feel like the weight of your hair also just I mean, I'm tired. I can't hold on to this follicle again. Let
Right.
me
I'm tired.
let it
Right.
go.
I'm weary. I gotta go. And now
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
gotta
start
go.
over.
Yeah, yeah. So if you don't want to, I mean, stress ball, go. I think I want to use the exact words you used. Don't stress the ball.
Don't stress them bald headed. Don't stress
Yes,
me
yes.
bald headed. Stress
Thank
me
you.
skinny. Don't stress me bald headed.
Don't
That's all
stress
I'm
me,
saying.
but
Hmm.
yeah, you have to. I mean, try and stay away from. Some people are just not worth the stress. Sometimes it
Yeah.
comes from your friends, your colleagues. You didn't
Right.
mention
Right.
your partners, even a family relative can stress you so much. Please,
Right.
please, the earlier you
It's not
start
worth.
exiting, the better.
Yes.
Yeah. Our next step is product allergies. This
Hmm.
is something that we most of us tend to overlook because we feel like people who make products are experts, so they're not going to put anything affect your hair. Mind you, one product is made for about millions or billions of people. And that billions of people, you may be in it who may have different hair texture. You need a whole different thing.
Hmm.
So you may think that yes, there was an expert that made a product, but how about you? Maybe that product wasn't made for your hair. So if you use a product for a while and then you realize that it's not acting well with your hair, please change it. Yes, I know you bought it with money and all that, but please change it. Your hair will not tell you. I always say your hair will not shout at you that I don't like this. It will show you the signs. You may not like the signs. So please change it. When you realize that,
Hmm.
usually, I think if a product will not work for you, after you use it once or twice, you start feeling your hair feels a bit
Yes.
funny. It doesn't even take long for your hair to show you the
No.
signs. Your hair starts feeling
Sometimes
funny
you feel it immediately. I put stuff in
immediately.
my hair
Yes.
expeditiously. My hair is like, I'm like, okay. And then I
Yes.
still go and use it. And then when my hair is super sad, I'm like, you knew better
Yeah.
when you put it on your head in the shower.
Thank
Sometimes your
you.
hair will tell you immediately. And
Yes,
I am one of those
sometimes.
people, the one out of 10 million. if there's something wrong with something, I'm the person who gets it. So yes, if you find that something is doing something, I don't care if it has 59,000 reviews on Amazon, everybody
Yes.
loves it. If it's
Yes.
not working for you, stop it immediately,
Stop
because
it.
you
Yes.
don't want to, like you say, you don't want to backtrack.
No, no, you don't want to backtrack. Yeah. And then also improper hair care. Improper hair care. You have to be conscious about what you do to your hair and what you do for your hair. I mean, if you are not taking care of your hair properly, you are not washing your hair at the right time, you are not sleeping in a bonnet, you're not sleeping on a satin pillowcase or a silk pillowcase, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? You are combing your hair when it's dry and you're expecting a long, healthy hair. Sometimes we are the main causes. We are admiring Avon's hair, but then we are putting in, I mean, efforts that contradicts to what we want. I mean, the hair goals that we want. So we have to be mindful about our hair care practices so that
Yeah.
we are able to get the healthy long hair we are looking for. And next thing is medication. Certain medications may affect our hair growth and also, I mean, how our hair responds to it. Some medications, you have to lose some hair before. I mean, and you may not know that this is what is causing it. I think I heard a story of a lady who was going through kidney dialysis. She had kidney transplants, and the thing was still getting worse. It was the hospital said they were doing a lot of things. They had to do a kidney transplant, and whatever was happening was still getting worse. Apparently, she was on certain, these days, there's this beauty shots, and you go for
Mhm.
some shots, and that was what was affecting the kidney. And while she was going through that kidney process dialysis, she was still taking those beauty shots, taking certain fluids. So it was not, I mean, they were fighting against each other before she
Mhm.
had to stop. So certain medications will have to, I mean, sometimes you have to just take those medications. And then
Yeah.
other times too, you have to just deal with the fact that it is a phase that maybe you're not feeling so well. After this few months, your hair is going to go back to normal. So if you are going through certain challenges, know that maybe certain medications you are taking is affecting your hair growth yet. My
And
last
can I
point.
just, can
Oh
I
yes,
just
oh
want
yes,
to, because I don't want to forget stuff. I will forget.
yes.
Also, supplements. I had a collagen I was taking, and I got it off, the TikTok. And I was about 3 hard weeks in, meaning like pretty much right at 3 weeks. And one day I got in the shower, and my hair was just shedding a lot. Not my normal
Oh,
shedding, but like pulling a lot. So I immediately stopped it, and by the next wash, my hair was not shedding by as much. And then by the next one, it had stopped the abnormal shedding, because it naturally sheds. I
yeah,
write to the
yeah.
company telling, well, I went to do my money back, and she was like, oh, that shouldn't happen till around, you should notice that until around 3 to some weeks. I'm like, well, I'm at 3 weeks, and I'm telling you, and they did refund me my money, but it was a
Okay.
collagen for me, and other supplements. So just know, go look at the 1-star reviews on Amazon when you go to buy stuff, just to see what could happen. So if it does happen, then you know possibly where it came from. And that happened with me with a multivitamin. I was taking one for
Wow.
50 and over, and I was like 47 at the time. I'm thinking, okay, I'm almost 50, so take it. And then I later learned, I ended up stopping the vitamin, that if you take a vitamin that has a whole bunch of different stuff in it, you may not need all of that vitamin A. You may not need all of that vitamin C. So you may not, so that
Okay.
your body rejects it, and it'll make you shed extra. So pay attention to
Mm.
those things. I just want to say that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this.
You're
Thank you for.
welcome.
And by the way, you look so pretty to be
Oh,
almost 50.
thank you. You too. I'm looking, y'all. I'm itching to see the back of her hair. She's like, it's just a puff, but I see how you got it in the front, and I'm like, yeah. After this weekend, I might copy you. We're gonna be twins, and I'm just telling you now.
Oh, okay. So the last but not least is genetics. Yes, genetics can affect. I mean, if you come from a family where your uncles, I mean, there's some baldness in the family, please
Hmm.
be aware that it may happen to you. And when it happens to you, don't panic. It's just in the family. It's a hereditary something that you may go through. I mean,
Right.
you shouldn't panic so much because it is in the family. So certain hair conditions are genetically achieved. I mean acquired. So when you're going through it, don't panic so much because it runs in the family. Example, baldness. Yeah, that's what I have seen. Like you see someone, the father, the son, the grandchild, they're all bald. It's just something that runs to the family that you shouldn't panic so much. Yeah. Now let's talk about certain solutions that helped me when I started afresh. I think I had to chip this in about some the history of how I started my natural hair journey. So I went bald in 2020 because I wasn't seeing in my country. We say I wasn't seeing top. It means you were doing everything. You are not seeing what you are not really seeing the points of what you were doing. So I decided to go bald, to start afresh. And when I
Mm-hmm.
started afresh, within 6 months, my hair was still growing. I mean, the normal pace. I wasn't really bothered. But then after I started doing a lot of reading, watching YouTube videos, researching and all that, I realized that my 4 years of growing hair from 2016 to 2020, I was just doing it for doing sake. I had no knowledge. I was really just ignorant about hair growth. I thought it's something that would just grow on its own without you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So after my first 6 months, I decided to invest in my hair. And one thing that I remember doing very well was deep conditioning my hair. I didn't know anything called deep condition. The only thing I knew was shampoo your hair, rinse it out, they put conditioner in it, then you braid your hair. That was all I knew. So when I
Mm-hmm.
found out about deep conditioning the hair with heat, it doubled my hair growth within the next 6 months. So that is why it is my first point. Deep condition your hair with heat, because that saying is going to really, I mean, heat generally can be just keeping the deep conditioner in your hair and then wrapping it with rubber or wearing a shower cap for a while, doing your household chores, not necessarily sleeping on it, just let's say sleeping over it. Let's say 1 hour, you just do your household chores and then you are done. If you have a steamer cap, it quickens the process, so you can do it about 15 minutes and then you are done. It's able to open the hair follicles and feed the roots of your hair. That is one thing that's a personal experience that I always love to share to people who are going through hair challenges. That, girl, are you deep conditioning your hair? And amazingly, a lot of people don't know about it because people still come to me and tell me about their hair challenges. And when I said you deep condition your hair, they don't know what it is. So I don't like to blame them so much because I used to be in their shoes where I
Yeah.
had no knowledge what deep conditioning was. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
deep condition your hair. If you are trying everything and you are not really seeing what is causing a particular challenge, please deep condition your hair. And then we mentioned earlier about stress. Don't stress the bald hair out. I need to get the exact words. Don't stress it, please. It's not worth it
Mm-hmm.
because you may end up starting from scratch again. And it's so painful when yeah, one thing people notice a lot is when your hair is, yeah, I mean, you're losing hair. Like the way even noticed her friend was losing her eyebrows. People notice, wow, your hair is looking pale. Your hair is, I mean, your hair has changed. Your hair is no longer thick. People notice it. Even you will notice it. So please
Right.
reduce the stress because stress can affect the health of your hair. And also eat well. I mentioned earlier that our hair is part of us. What we put inside affects our hair. What we put inside and what we put on our hair affects our hair. So if you are aiming for a long, healthy hair, please do well to eat well. Having your proteins. I'm always remembering Evan's experience of going being a vegetarian and then missing out on protein.
Vegetarian.
Having your protein.
Yes.
I
I
mean,
haven't
have
turned up, I haven't turned chicken away since, child. I just, yeah.
Ah, I like that you also learned it the hard way. And when you learn things the hard way, it makes you share your experience from your heart because you have experienced it yourself. And then also try and stay active and exercise regularly. Staying active, I mean, these are tips that let's put hair aside. They help the immune system. Staying active helps the immune system. Exercising regularly, it helps the immune system. So our hair is part of us. When I say your hair, if you take care of your hair, you are taking care of your entire being as well. And also use plants and DIYs. Here I'm emphasizing on the DIY. Learn to do things yourself.
Mhm.
Do things yourself. Not every time you put your hair in the hands of someone who mostly has no love for whatever I mean, they don't see the goal that you want to achieve. You want the length, they don't want the length, they want their money, and that money, they time is money to them. So if you will spend an hour washing and taking care of your hair, they will use like 10 or 15 minutes, and that 10 or 15 minutes was done in a rush, and you may
Yeah.
end up losing so much hair. So learn to take care of your hair yourself. The basics like washing your hair yourself, at least if you are able to wash and stretch your hair, you can just go to a stylist to help you braid the hair. That is okay. But then if you put your entire the health of your hair in someone's hands, please, you may be doing yourself more harm than good. Also seek expert advice. Here I have two opinions now because even opened my eyes to sometimes you seek an expert advice and the expert has no idea what's going wrong with you. They may tell you, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It happens here in my country. People go to hospitals and they tell them there's nothing wrong with them, and after a few, I mean, it happened to my grandfather. He went to the hospital, he was told there
Mhm.
was nothing wrong with him, and he passed away a few months later. And we're like, it happens. So sometimes we put our health in experts that they are supposed to take care of her. But let's be mindful that if you go through the consequences, there's nothing, I mean, they will do about it. They are just going to apologize and all that. And then the harm has already been done. So please put
Yeah.
the health of your hair in your hand. Even though you are seeking expert advice, don't put your hopes so much in them because your health is in your hands. The health of your hair is in your hands. Yes, I'm listening, Eben.
Yes, sir. So what I have noticed that I started doing was if my hair starts acting up, I always go back to the last thing that I did to my hair differently. Meaning,
Yes,
even if it's taking a vitamin or something, that's how I figure out the vitamin so quick. That's how I figure out the collagen so quick. You go back to
yes,
the last thing. As Lydia was saying, I had an issue where I went vegetarian for 3 years. I started off good on the right track. I wasn't getting enough protein. I did not realize it until a year after I'd gone to the doctor. The doctor yells in the waiting room like, "Hey, what is your?" I keep can't remember the name of it, but basically they were like, you need to take iron pills. The doctor never
mm,
said, what is your diet like? Had the doctor said, what is your diet like? It would have clicked in my head, I'm a vegetarian. And then we could, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I
yeah,
went to a doctor and they had no clue. And they just like, take iron pills. A year later, I happened to snap a pic. My hair was looking sad and I was trying to figure it out. I was basically like, maybe I need to do a protein treatment, realizing that I had never done a protein treatment in my hair. And that's when it clicked. You're not getting enough protein, therefore you're not getting enough nutrients. So you hit
yeah,
that on the head with that one. Definitely seek expert advice, but pay attention to your hair. Your hair is your
yeah,
responsibility. So whether you're
yeah,
going for a trim and somebody ends up cutting your hair off, when you're using products, you're switching around products and stuff, pay attention. If your hair starts acting up, back up off of something that maybe you know that you use last because that
last
could
year,
be the problem and that will stop you again, sorry, from having to start all over again.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, thank you for this. So yeah,
Thank you.
look back to something that you used recently
Mhm.
so that it's able to track whatever may be causing
Mhm.
the challenge you are going through. Thank you very much, Even.
You're welcome.
And now let's talk about certain helmet that I hear and see a lot that please
Yes.
let's forget about them completely because they are
Mhm.
complete false here.
Lie.
So yes. And the first helmet is that natural hair doesn't grow. Well, I will see even.
It
Who
grows.
said natural hair doesn't grow? Natural hair grows
It's
like it
natural
can
hair.
grow as long as you want. It can
Mhm.
grow longer than you even expect it to grow. Then next step is trimming hair makes hair grow faster. Well, this is a myth. Trimming your hair does not make your hair grow fast. It makes your ends healthy and also doesn't give you the length that you are looking out for. So please don't trim your hair so much if you are aiming to grow your hair
Right.
very long. I mean, twice a week, as Even said, she does it twice a week or when
Or
you
twice a
need it.
year.
So sorry, I mean twice a year.
No,
Thank
no
you for
problem.
that. Thank you for that. So she also said that if you are trimming your hair more than you need to, it means you should check how you are treating your hair. Because if you're able to take care of your hair very well, I mean, give it enough attention, you realize that trimming your hair is not as necessary as you think. Yes.
Right.
And there's a myth that dirty hair grows hair. So people leave their hair for 3 months without washing because apparently dirty hair grows hair. It's not true. Please debunk that myth. It
Please
is
wash
not
your
true.
head.
Wash your hair. And I mentioned earlier that build a routine for yourself. When you build a routine for
Mhm.
yourself, you know what when how many times you wash your hair in a month or in 2 months. So follow that dirty hair grows hair. I think let me just chip in this. Do your own research and know what works for you. If you know what works for you, my dear, you will see a lot of reviews on do this, do this, do that, and you're not even going to be moved about it because you know what works for you. There's a myth that protective styling grows the hair. Protective styling does not grow the hair. It just, keeps the hair in that shape that that doesn't make you constantly manipulate the hair. And when you're not constantly manipulating the hair, it means you are still keeping your hair in its shape. You're not putting tension on your scalp. You're not, I mean, combing your hair to shed, or you're not causing your hair to break. So protective styling protects the hair. It doesn't really grow the hair. And it is through the protection of your hair that we know that our hair is growing, because our hair is always growing. Yes.
Mhm.
There's also a myth that hair oils alone can grow your hair very long. Well, nobody uses hair oils without shampooing their hair. People who use hair oil to grow their hair, they also have a routine for their hair. So it's sort of balances the whole equation, that
Yes,
yes, you are using hair oils, but then also you are having a good hair care routine, or hair care, I mean, yeah, practice. Yes.
yes,
So please debunk these myths, because they are not good. And here are certain habits you should avoid. It's almost like the myths that I mentioned earlier. Avoid combing your hair when dry. If you have 4C hair, if you are in the four categories, please avoid combing your. In fact, any type of hair, even when your hair is relaxed, please avoid combing it when it's dry. As someone gave an analogy that let's take dry hair strand as a broomstick. You know how easy it is if you are breaking a broomstick. I
yes,
mean, was it I think it was a branch. If a branch is very dry, you just take
yes.
it and you just turn it and then it breaks. But if the branch has some moisture in it, it rather bends but doesn't break. So that
Mhm.
was the analogy the person gave, and I was like, whoa. So if you're combing your hair when it's dry, this is what you are going to go to. And even gave an example about combing the hair. I think you should mention the
Spaghetti.
slip that, yes,
Yeah.
it was,
I was like, yeah, thank you. So basically, I was saying, you know how if you cook spaghetti and then it's sitting in the pot and it's all dried up and it's hard and you can't pull it
yes,
loose, right? You go to scoop some out and it's all. But if leave the spaghetti in some water, it all loosens up and then it slips away. It's the same thing with
yes,
your hair. You have to
yes,
add
yes.
some kind of moisture to it. Please do not.
Yes.
I cringe when I see people combing their hair dry, like just to
Oh,
hear it. I'm like, oh my, I can hear your hair screaming. Wet your hair.
yes.
Wet your hair. Just a
What's
little
your
spray
hair?
bottle. You can,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
put
yeah,
whatever in it
yeah.
if you want. You can put a little oil in it if you want. That gets kind of tricky. Or even like conditioner. I used to put a little
Yes,
conditioner
conditioner.
to
Yeah,
but
yeah.
please do not comb your, and please don't comb those babies' heads when when the hair is dry. Those poor little girls, child, listen.
No. All right, thank you for this. So yeah, please wet your hair before you comb. I mean, just a spray bottle, spray it on your hair. I mean,
Yes,
it just loosens the hair and then makes combing easy for you. So it makes it
yes,
easy for you yourself. Yeah. And
yes.
then the next thing, avoid trimming your hair often. For this trimming, if you are aiming for long hair, please avoid trimming your hair too much, because as Avon sits here with the longest afro, Guinness World Record longest afro, if she was trimming her hair as often as maybe I was,
Right.
I don't think she would have that, I mean, achievement. So avoid trimming your hair often if long hair is your goal. And since long hair is
You're
our goal,
basically
that's
cutting
why,
the hair you grew. Like, there's no sense in that. You're cutting the hair you grew. And be careful who
yeah.
you go to, because some people don't understand dusting of the
Yes,
ends. They like to chop it
yes,
off. So,
yeah.
yeah,
You're cutting away all your growth. Imagine how how many length you're able to grow in a year, and then you end up trimming the whole length off. I mean, even half of it off. You have
right,
cut away a lot of growth. So
right.
please avoid trimming your hair often. And also avoid hairstyles that put tension on your scalp. Our hair grows from the scalp. So if you're always doing hairstyles that make you stretch your neck because it's so painful, and make you have headaches and all that, please, it's not worth it. There are some, see Evans hair, I admire her hair so much. It's beautiful hairstyles with no tension. I don't think she's even feeling any pain on her hair,
I
like
keep learning that, Lydia.
with
Don't,
no
don't, don't,
tension
don't
at
look at me,
all.
girl. I was putting buns in my hair for years. That's one of my favorite go-tos. But I realized I gave up buns, and not really gave it up because I'm about to actually put my hair in a bun. And I realized though, putting my hair in a wet bun all the time was causing my hair not to be as healthy. So
Yeah,
don't be like, don't.
yeah,
I be
yeah.
messing up too. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Avoid
yes.
the
I
tension
think,
styles. I'm lucky to still have edges, but all of that stuff in the middle of your hair, it pulls your hair out, y'all. Don't do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for this. Thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
we all think that people who have very long hair don't have challenges, but then we
Girl,
it
you
will
messed
be
up.
it'll be shocking to hear that Evan also goes to a lot of hair challenges. Yes, so don't panic so much if you are facing the challenges. And also avoid over manipulating your hair. There's some people they can't stop touching their hair. Like not touching the hair per se. Every time they have to do something to their hair. Every day they have to do something to their hair. Unless you don't care about the length or the health of your hair. But if you care about it, please avoid over manipulating
Keep
your
your
hair.
hands
Over
out your head.
manipulating, no, 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 it's not the best. Yeah, yeah, you are going to break your hair, you're going to shed your hair because every time you do anything to your hair goes through breakage and shedding. And imagine
Hmm.
every day going through breakage and shedding, breakage and shedding. You're going
Right.
to
The
thin out your
detangle and
hair.
retwist. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And also avoid sleeping without a hair bonnet. This was something that I used to do a lot until I learned it the hard way. When you sleep in hair bonnet, you wake up with your hair. I mean, just sleeping and friction. You're moving from one point to the other. Your hair is just scratching the bed and all that. Your
Hmm.
hair just tangle around each other. That's what Even said. It tangles around each other. And the next time you want to detangle it, you have to end up losing so much hair because your hair, because of the texture and nature of our hair, it shrinks so much that having to detangle it, you have to either be very patient or just lose so much hair in the
Yes.
process. And also
Hmm.
avoid keeping protective styles for too long. Protective styles are meant to protect your hair at a point, but then why would you wear protective style for 2 to 3 months? Please. I don't know what you are protecting. At this point, your scalp is just begging you to just release it from jail because why have you worn protective style for 2 to 3 months? Please, a month
Yeah.
is okay. A month is okay because you need to wash your hair. Your hair needs to
Mhm.
go through treatment so that it revives it and then follow the same hair growth or hair care practice that you have been practicing.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
also avoid using the wrong product. Even mentioned a while ago about using some rice protein, and then she realized that it wasn't helping her. If you're using something, study your hair and know that it's not helping you. If you go and tell a friend that I've used this product and it's not helping me, even though your friend recommended, she was like, "Hey, how did you use it? You didn't use." Maybe your hair is different from your friend's hair, so avoid using the
It
wrong
is
product.
different.
Study
Right.
your hair. Yes,
Hmm.
when you study your hair and then you know that this is what works or doesn't work for you, my dear, you're not going to listen to anybody and what they think about what you should use because you have experienced it yourself. You know what works for you. For me, example, I have a particular skincare product I use, and no matter the reviews I hear on the internet about this, about other products, there's no way I'm going there because I'm sticking to what works for me. If I end up going to use something that I haven't used before, it may, ruin my skin.
Hmm.
Now, here are a few takeaways I put in here for all of us. Long hair is beautiful, but it's important to focus on the health of our hair first. Yes, healthy hair. When you have long hair and it's not healthy, trust me, you wish you had short hair. When you have long hair and you are constantly facing challenges, you are going through thinning, your hair is shedding. You wish you had short, healthy hair. So please, as you focus on long hair, please be mindful that health comes first. When your hair is healthy, you are going to enjoy the whole process before it gets to the length aspect of it.
Right.
Also, my next point is that long hair takes time. Be patient. Be patient. Hair growth is patience. Even didn't grow this length within a year. No, never happening. Be
Mm-hmm.
patient. Good things take time. So you have to be patient when you want to see growth. And always remember that the longer the hair, the bigger the responsibility. This is my best part. Be mindful that if you are aiming for waist length hair, you're going
Hmm.
to have a lot of responsibility.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Yes.
these are my few takeaways, and I'll just now go give it to even if she has anything else to say, then
I
we
let me thank you so much, Lydia. This was so informing. And let me just say my name is Avon Dugan and I support these messages. This was awesome. This said everything that I always tell people. And then I've also learned some things as far as like the hair growth stage. I knew a little bit, but not as much as I thought. And yeah, all the things you said, perfect, the allergies, the medications, all of those type of things. But what I pay attention to your hair, y'all. I'm telling you, it's not just about doing the style and thinking, oh, that's it, and I put this product in it because everybody else likes this product. You really have to pay attention to your hair because you will be surprised at how sometimes, like you said, what works for one doesn't work for another. And like my
yeah.
grandmother used to say, keep your hands out your head. I don't know. I feel like all black mamas say that, keep your hands out your head. That's why they were telling us that because remember they used to say, keep your hands out your head or you're gonna break it all out. they weren't lying. So I don't do styles where I have to constantly retwist my hair during the week because I'm losing extra hair that I don't
Yeah.
need to lose to
Yeah.
have this glorious style. And I just put up a post. Sometimes we have to not wear our hair out to protect it. That's one of the things. And you can put it into a bun for a day or two. You know, buns are always beautiful. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to go for what's simpler, where your hair is protected if you're in large crowds. You know, if you're going to be doing something where your hair might get caught in stuff.
Yeah.
So that's another way to protect your hair. Sometimes you just have to put it in what I call a quiet style. Don't always
Yeah.
go for the glamorous stuff. Trust me, we all love the big hair, right? We want the big hair. That's, you know, what
Yeah.
we all want. But at the same time, sometimes that big hair can get in the way, and then that can cause damages as well. So sometimes go for the quiet styles, and you know, on special occasions when you're around people where it's not too much going on, then you wear your hair out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is now the question and answer period. I'm sure y'all have questions because I was jumping in and thinking about stuff. So y'all bring the questions. Come on with the questions because Lydia is here to answer. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
let
are ready
Lydia
for
answer.
your
I'm not even gonna
questions.
answer. I'm gonna let
So
Lydia answer them all.
So we do have some questions, and I'm going to try to get through them quickly because we had so much great information tonight.
Awesome.
We also do have questions in the Q&A and questions that were sent to me before the webinar. Before
Okay.
and I'm going to just put out the question, and I'll have either one of you answer if it seems like, you know, something that you really want to speak on.
Okay.
But you just said even about wearing hairstyles where your hair gets caught. Lesson
Mhm.
learned the hard way. I have a beautiful jacket with
Uh-huh.
that's got like um, beautiful kind of pieces embroidered all over it, and I wore my hair out like this, and it was tangled everywhere.
Yes.
So now I know, and was like pulling my hair out. I can only wear my hair up with that.
Uh-huh.
So
I
many
can.
things I've
Yeah.
learned personally. We're going to go right to the questions.
Okay.
And some of the things you guys did speak about already. The first one is, do you find people in your area going natural? Do they give up or do they stay natural? And I know both of you are in different places. I'm in Silicon Valley. I'm going to let you guys answer. Go.
Lydia, I'll let you go.
Okay, so I think for me, I find people relaxing their hair because they say natural hair is too difficult. But then those same people come back that I want to go back to natural. And funny enough, when they relax their hair, I have it at the back of their mind that they are going to go back. They are going to start the natural hair journey
Mm-hmm.
again. Because
Mm-hmm.
natural hair journey is something that when you start, you can't stop. You may relax your hair, you may cut your hair, but you always come back
Right.
because you feel like you didn't do it right the first time. So people
Mm-hmm.
who end up relaxing their hair, people I have seen, they end up coming back. I mean, they
Right.
end up starting the natural hair journey again in my area. I mean, my friends, people who they always come back. Lydia, I want to start my journey again. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. Like I always
Right.
knew it. So natural hair is something that you cannot live without because relaxing your hair, if you have experienced natural hair before, relaxing your hair, you start questioning the chemicals that go into your hair. You start questioning so many things. Then you be like, okay,
Lawsuit.
let me just
Yes.
now go to natural and then have the right knowledge. Yeah. So I think
Yes.
that is what I can
Mhm.
say about that.
Yeah. And you see the lawsuits that they have with these chemicals. Y'all, these people are not playing. And it's now being shown that in these lawsuits that unfortunately, but also of course they would, the chemicals are found more in African American hair products.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. That's
it's
the issue.
like, and you know, and I put up a post about, you know, with the relaxer and how it was causing problems with women with fibroids and whatnot. And it made me think about the fact that African American women went from being like the birth mothers of the nation to not being able to have babies. And I thought that was so weird. And I feel like at some point they're gonna tie the whole fibroids and black women always having to have a hysterectomy to
Yeah.
relaxers, because I know so many African American women who have hysterectomies, and I can't speak on other races because I'm black. So I can
Yeah.
only speak for mine. And I'm like, something is weird with that. And then when you hear
Yeah.
about the relaxers causing fibroids, and we know all of that goes together, I'm just
Yeah.
wondering. So if that isn't enough to make you be like, I'm good, you know, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't know what it is too. I don't know what it is too.
Okay, moving on to the next question. What would be a consistent routine to practice growth? I know that's a really big question. Let's
Mhm.
see if we can give like a 30-second answer and get to the next one.
Who wants to go?
Even.
Shampoo, deep condition every other week, and style your hair in something where you don't have to touch it much.
Love it.
Simple. I
Mhm.
agree.
That's what I do.
Um, this might also be a big question. How long can someone grow their hair for each hair type?
That I don't even know if that's really a thing, because I
Yeah.
just feel like it depends on what you're doing to your hair. You know,
Yeah.
have you had it, have you had any setbacks and all that kind of stuff? But we do know that kinky and coily hair, Lydia, right? We can grow it.
Yeah.
So because
Yes.
I feel like that was the hair that was questioned more. That's
Yeah.
the hair that was always looked at as it can't do too much.
Yeah.
So I do know that kinky and coily hair, again, I can only speak on what I have. It
Right.
Yeah.
it'll grow. Yeah, if you take care of it, it will grow.
And
Yes.
we do
And also,
see through the Crown Club a lot of people who come on as content contributors and have a lot of natural black hair.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah.
also be careful with the color, y'all, because even though I used to be blonde back in the day, I see a lot of colors breaking people's hair out, which I find weird too, because I was blonde, I had a blonde afro, and my hair didn't break like that. So I don't know if they're doing something to the hair color, but also be very, when you go lighter, just know every time I see somebody go lighter, I've seen some big people on the internet, they go lighter and then they end up with their hair backtracking because it breaks out like almost every single
Yeah.
time. And I
Yeah.
love blonde. I get it. But there are temporary colors that you can use and put in your hair.
Yeah. 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 I
That's a
also
Mhm.
really
think
good point.
to that question, we look at the factors that affect hair growth, like genetics.
Mhm.
So if you say how long does your hair grow, I'll say there are so many factors that contribute to it. Stress, genetics, your hair care practices. So if you are able to, I mean, do in the calculation, you can even decide yourself. And you shouldn't really be bothered about how long it will take because it's not a competition. Just give your hair time, be patient, and then your hair will grow. Yeah.
Right.
I love that you said that it's not a competition. It's
Yes.
not. Thank you for
It's
saying
not.
that.
It's
Do you
not.
have any suggestions to prevent shedding or to retain length? Again, if we can keep this kind of short and move on to some more questions.
Maybe you wanna go?
Even
Okay,
I
basically the same
don't.
stuff Lydia just said. Avoid doing hairstyles where you're constantly detangling and retwisting and all that stuff during the week. Avoid
Yeah,
doing stuff where it's pulling on your hair too much. Avoid product hopping. I've
yeah,
even done that before. I get it. It's tempting. You see somebody do their hair on the internet and it's like her hair is glorious and her hair looks like my
yes,
hair. So my hair should look just like her hair that's
yeah.
not the case. I wish I could tell y'all the
No.
story of Keisha, but that's just not the case. Trust me. Like, trust me, just because somebody else did it and their hair looks just like yours does not mean your hair is going to come out the same. And that's where sometimes you fall into issues.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Great. Okay,
I
this
agree.
one, oh, go ahead. Did you want to add to
No,
that?
no, no. I don't know. I think that's okay.
Okay, this one is personal to me. I didn't ask this question. I swim once per month. How often should I wash my hair? I swim once a week, and it's
Hmm.
taken me a while to come up with my hair routine, which I'm happy to share quickly, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are for this person who swims once a month.
I mean, at least wash your hair when you swim. That's
Yeah,
about it for me. If you swim and you get, especially in chlorine or any kind of water, really,
yeah.
wash your hair just because that water is holding all kind of stuff. So as long as you're washing your hair when you swim, I think there's no problem with it. And I've heard put conditioner in your hair before you go swimming, like in a chlorine pool or something, to help. I'm thinking it kind of makes sense. Maybe conditioner, or maybe oil it or something, to kind of protect it and seal it from whatever's
Mm,
going on. But I would say every time you swim, wash your hair.
wash your hair.
Mhm.
So I've been swimming once a week for
Mhm.
4 years, just
Mhm.
Well,
not as long as I've been growing my hair, but
Mhm.
almost. And only because of the Crown Club have I really started doing or adding layers and doing different things for my hair care, which I know have made a difference. So
Mhm.
for me, well, I wash my hair twice a week now. I used to only wash it once a week, but I do twice a week. And one of my hair wash days is my swim day, obviously.
Okay.
So I plan
okay,
around that,
Mhm.
right?
okay,
And I fully soak my hair before I go swimming. Like
Ah,
okay.
I wet, like fully wet it, and then I put in like a conditioner.
mhm.
Like I'd like to like a really thick conditioner, just like you said,
Yeah.
Aben.
Mhm.
And then I'll put it in two loose braids,
Mhm.
two
Okay,
loose braids, and
Mhm.
then I shove it underneath the swim cap.
Oh, okay.
okay.
And so when I get out of the pool, and I as I'm rinsing it out, it still has that conditioner in it, and I use my fingers
Okay.
to really kind of gently comb through as I'm rinsing it out. And one thing I've added about 5 or 6 months ago,
Mhm.
I know, Lydia, you spoke about like adding heat to your deep conditioning. So what I'll do is I rinse out the conditioner and the chlorine. First, I mean, I have gray hair under this. My hair is color treated. And I'll use
Great.
a color treatment shampoo,
Mhm.
like
Okay.
just once and wash it out. Then, so my hair doesn't turn yellow or green or as
Right.
chlorine
Okay.
does.
Mhm.
And then once a week, I always use the clarifying shampoo, and that's on my swim days.
Mhm.
Okay.
So then I
Mhm.
use the clarifying shampoo. And I know, I don't know if you remember, even, but one of your webinars, you said wash it squeaky clean.
Yes.
And the
Yes. I love it
clarifying, the
there.
two, then my hair was squeaky clean.
Mhm.
And then I put in a deep, like a deep conditioner, like
Mhm.
not a leave-in, but one that's gonna like deep condition your hair. But
Okay. Okay.
here's what I started doing like 5 months ago, because go elsewhere to swim.
Uh-huh.
There is there's a steam room and there's a sauna, and so I put that heavy mask conditioner.
Mhm.
I'd lightly put it up on my head, and then I go
Okay.
into the sauna for 20
Mhm.
minutes.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
And I
That's
realized,
smart.
wait, I'm healing my body and my hair
And your hair,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
at the
That's
same
smart.
time. I'm
Mhm.
like, why
Yeah.
have I not thought about this? I do
Mhm.
that for 20 minutes. So that's my deep condition. And
Yeah.
Oh,
then I
that's
come out, I rinse it out, I put in my leave-in condition and
mhm.
whatever I'm going to do to
You're good to
style.
go.
I don't know if
Nice.
that helps the
This helped because your
skip.
hair is looking better. Remember I told you I'm like your hair is looking longer and thicker, so it's helping.
Thank you. I'm telling
That's
you, I'm
smart.
learning everything. It was through Crown Club. I heard about clarifying shampoo. It was Crown Club. I heard about like, the color, like important, like
Yeah.
for, especially if you're swimming and
Mhm.
the sun a lot. And I know that was a bit of a longer answer, but like, I don't want to give up
Oh, we
swimming,
need it.
you
Yeah,
know? And so I wash my hair on swim day, obviously, and I make that my deep conditioning routine day.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
good.
That's
And
like killing two birds with a stone.
Yes. I
yes.
mean, there's
And
more things, but go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and technically, when you put the conditioner in before you start, if you put, the old school swim caps, those rubber ones, and put that over it with like a garbage bag or a shower cap, technically that's a deep conditioning right there.
Yeah.
Because our bodies are 98.6 degrees. 98.6 degrees is hot. So your scalp is warm. So it's in there. And so you're like double deep conditioning your hair. So that's
I
good.
like that. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. You're right, because I swim with the swim cap because I do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
laps. So yeah, so I feel like I have been able to at least maintain my hair, but you're right. I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, Crown Club has helped me.
Yeah.
Okay. Some other questions that came in. You spoke to this earlier about someone asked about adding protein to the diet for the hair, and I think even it was you that said that actually like you lost hair doing that. And this
Yeah.
person was asking specifically about adding protein powder supplements to her diet.
Right. No, so what I was saying was I went vegetarian and I wasn't getting enough protein. And with
Okay.
protein on your hair, you have to be very careful because basically, protein makes stuff strong and if stuff is too strong, it'll break. So, and like the DIY thing, I'm glad you brought that up. The DIYs are great. I love a good DIY. I'm always DIY in my hair, but my hair broke out from using rice water in my hair. Why? Because it was protein, and obviously my hair was like, we got enough protein, and it started breaking. So with protein, you really have to be careful and figure out if your hair needs it or not. I was just saying I didn't give up a chicken wing after my hair started breaking out because I wasn't eating chicken wings. So now, if you see me with a chicken wing in my mouth, I guarantee you it's because I'm not doing this again with losing my hair. But be careful when it comes to protein because it can get kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Does someone else asked if you could speak? And we're over time. I'm so sorry, everyone. Pros and cons between detangling with your fingers versus a detangling brush and or comb. Thoughts?
I just feel like you just do whichever one works for you. I have started like I don't bring a wide tooth comb in the shower with me. I bring a detangling brush and I hold the brush this way instead of this way, and I just start from the bottom and I hold my hair and I just go up a little at a time, moving up my hair. But then for somebody, they may like the brush this way. For somebody, they may like the comb. For some people, they may like their fingers. Ooh, no, let
Yeah.
me say this. I have tried lately just pulling my hair apart before I go to detangle, just while it's in the shower, just pull it carefully. Don't just rip through it, but just pull it apart. And that does help when it is time to use an actual tool. So
Yeah.
I don't really finger detangle as much as I kind of, get it apart using my hands, and then I go in with a tool. And I just feel like it depends on the person and probably your hair.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why we said figure out what works for you.
It
Like,
works for you.
people tell that whole, oh, I only use my fingers to detangle, my hair is grown to my tippy toes. Well, that's you. But somebody else may have to use a comb, and that is
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
so, and I always feel so bad because I'm watching people, and that's why I'm trying to post more, because I'm looking at people following stuff. And I always say at the end of the day, do what you want to do. Like, even if you want to
Yeah.
get relaxed, do what you want to do. Just pay attention for real, because at the end of the day, it's your hair. So
Yeah, sure.
don't get caught up in that kind of stuff. Just figure out which one works easier for you. Pay attention to how much shedding comes out. If you detangle with your fingers and you have a certain amount, I take pictures of my shedding, y'all. And I got to do a post about that. I take pictures of my shedding to compare them when I see certain things going on. So
Yeah.
you're gonna see balls of hair on my page. Take a picture of that and then detangle with a tool, and then take a picture of that. If you see where there's a huge difference, wouldn't go with your fingers instead of using a comb. So it just stuff like that, makes a difference.
Yep.
You know.
Okay, last question. Thank you all for being so patient. How do you know how much heat protectant to use before using a hair dryer?
So what I learned, I'm sorry, Lydia, I want to say this because
Oh,
I just
don't
realized
worry.
it. If you're using a heat protectant that protects up to 350, but you're using your iron at 400, so make sure the heat protectant goes up to the temperature of said, hair tool, because otherwise you still baking cookies in your head.
I
You
get
get
you.
what I'm saying? Like
Well, when
you
you
Yes.
got
say it like that, it's obvious.
right. And again, I had to figure this out myself one day. I'm like, if your protectant only goes up to 350, but you're pressing your hair at 420, well, not 420, but 400, then what are you doing? Like you protecting it a little bit, and be careful which heat protectants you use, because they're all not built the same. I can't recommend any because I'm still looking. So if y'all can recommend some, please tell me. Please, you know. And heat is not bad for your hair, y'all. You can press your hair. Just be careful, and be careful when you go to salons and let them press your hair, because they do, they press your hair so it stays caressed. And sometimes you go to wash your hair and your curls are like, I'm not coming back.
I'm not
I'm
coming
sorry.
back.
I'm not coming back, and then you got to start the process over again. So these are the type of things you have to take into consideration when dealing with your hair. I love to press my hair, but I don't do it all the time because I want my curls to come back. I want them to come home, you know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Lydia,
Lydia,
any last
yes.
comments on that?
Well, no, I think I'm okay. I'm okay. It's okay.
Lydia had all the knowledge, all the knowledge.
Okay, so with heat protectant, I haven't used any heat protectant before. I
Mhm,
just really moisturize my hair before putting any form of heat, and I hardly put heat on my hair.
mhm,
Hardly do it. I rather do my African threading. I'm sure Jelaine knows about this, to stretch
mhm,
my hair. So I'm not
mhm.
very good at giving the right protectant or the tips on using heat protectant. But what I know is that you should use a heat protectant before using heat on your hair. But for me, I haven't had that experience before. Yeah.
Okay. I get that. I've seen African threading, and it makes perfect sense. I
Yes.
bought some silk years ago and tore it into strips and wrapped it down my hair
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
stretch it. But it had the little frays and the threads in it and stuff, and it was cool. But so I understand you not using heat protectant, but they do work. Heat is not bad. It's just you have to pay attention when you're doing it,
Yeah. You just have to be
right.
careful with it.
Yeah, and use the right product. So again, make
Okay.
sure your heat protectant goes up to the temperature of how you're going to press your hair. Oh, and be careful standing out in the sun. I learned that the hard way. Y'all, I got stories. When I stayed in Guyana, like 2 months at two different times, I was in Guyana for a month here, Guyana for a month there. I thought I was doing the right thing by slicking my hair back with gel and just wearing it like that all the time, right? I'm out in the sun all the time. My hair was shedding so much. And then I
Whoa.
realized and I had oil in my hair. So I got gel and oil. Well, oil and heat equals fried chicken. I've said this on my
Mm,
page. So I was frying
fried.
my hair.
Your hair was fried.
Then I got gel in my hair, which got all kind of chemicals in it. And I was like, what is going on? I was just thinking I'm doing right because I'm not touching my hair and I fried chicken my hair. So that's another consideration. If you're going to be out in the heat, that happened to be, I think, at maybe Essence or something. My hair ended up crunchy at the end of the weekend because I had, I'm putting oil on
Fried
my
it
hair every day, not realizing you should have been putting a heat protectant because you're going out there. You
after
don't
the
think about
sun.
those type of things. You
No, no,
you
you
think
don't. You
you go in
don't.
the
You don't.
sun
You
and you're
don't.
fine, but it's like, no, y'all, we frying our head. And we didn't know. We thought we were doing the right thing. Some of the things that we've learned doing since we were children, I think some of it we were doing kind of wrong. So
Yeah,
we got to
it's
figure it
true.
out now. But style
It's true.
style life is gonna help us get through this.
Yes, well, you're helping me, and we're helping the broader community, all of us who are here to learn how to grow, care for, and style our naturally curly, coily, kinky hair. With that, I am going to wrap it up. I want to thank our guests, our hosts, our moderators so much. We love having both of you here. Lydia, thank you so much for another amazing webinar. Avon, really appreciate you moderating this evening and both of you answering
Thank y'all
questions.
for trusting me.
We hope to see you all at next month's webinar. Please check us out at styledlifecrownclub.com. Any final words from either of you?
No, I feel like I've said too much. Well, not too much, but I can run my mouth
Okay, I
about it.
have final words from me is be patient. Yes,
Yes,
hair growth takes time. Be patient and don't rush it. Enjoy the journey. That is what's more important.
yes.
Yes.
That is
Thank
very true.
you.
And also enjoy the length, every length, because while
Yes.
your hair is shorter, enjoy that style. Do all the things with that style. Because then as it grows, you're gonna look back. Because trust me, I have envy about a lot of stuff. A lot of time, like I got fro envy because I see somebody else that is easy to go around. Whereas with me, where I have to do a lot to get it into a fro. So enjoy every single length
Yeah.
and take pictures. That's another one. Remember I mentioned that, Julie? Take pictures of your hair and you will see the growth. If
Yeah.
you're constantly looking at your hair every day, you're not going to see the growth because
Yeah.
but take pictures of your hair. You're going to notice from 1 month to the next where it's like, oh, my hair is longer. Trust
Yeah.
me. And then if you don't, then that's when you go back and figure out, like Lydia said, your
Yeah.
routine and stuff like that, and maybe change up
Yeah.
some things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Well, thank you both. And I know we'll be seeing each of you again very soon. Have a great evening. Have a great late evening, wherever everybody is. And we'll see you next time at Styled Life Crown Club.
Y'all,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.